What is cool if you're handsome but creepy if you're ugly? I have a friend who has women literally swoon over him. Like, I thought that sort of stuff only happened in movies and cartoons until I met him. He is also clumsy as duck. He has spilled drinks over women, knocked them over, accidentally hit them because he was using his arms too much when telling a story, etc. I've never seen a woman get mad at him once. If anything, they're glad it happened. I have a friend like this. He's a giant, good looking, affable goofball. He's essentially a human golden retriever. So I kind of get it. Funny thing is his wife is the exact opposite. Tough, sharp, uncompromising. Lawyer turned CEO of mid-sized business. It's really like a dog married a cat. Let's say you have a higher tolerance buffer in a lot of contexts. Seriously, people give you way more benefit of the doubt when you're handsome. Imagine if Danny DeVito and Henry Cavill walked by a woman on the street and ran after her, chatting her up and asking her out. One would be considered a total creep. But when you're handsome like Danny DeVito, it'd be considered bold and romantic. I once was called creepy for sitting alone at lunch minding my own business. I hate that. What's wrong with wanting to spend some time by myself? Introvert problems. I'll bring my personal experience around that. I used to be overweight for many years, and I managed to create my own business through a lot of work and many fails. With women, was kinda complicated as well as you are. Watch really weirdly when you try to speak to a girl in a bar or you get easily friend-zoned. And one day I just decided to take more care of me by eating healthier and going to gym. To be honest, I changed nothing about me except my appearance. And was like finding the golden ticket. Everything is way easier when you look good and healthy. People tend to trust you more. Even in the working world. I was networking a lot at the beginning for my business to start, and wasn't that easy to get some people actually calling back. The funniest is that my skill set was the same, and so was my behavior to people. But it seems that people are naturally attracted and are more tolerant to someone who looks good and healthy. The funniest is that my skill set was the same, and so was my behavior to people. People will never believe this. They will always say that you were more confident, and that's what people responded to. Winking sucks for ugly cyclopses. Certain eyeglasses. If you're hot it's stylish, but if you're ugly you look like a sex offender. Sitting on a park bench watching your child play. Karens definitely react differently. Saturday morning after spending hours crying and just throwing on sweats and taking your kid to a park. Excuse me, can you move? You're making my kids uncomfortable. Saturday morning after you've showered, shaved, and have khakis and a polo on. Oh hi, how are you doing? The South is weird. Did someone really ask you to move? That's so rude. Thanks. Now I know that I'm ugly as duck. Lawyer up. Delete Facebook. Hit the gym. 365 days. Imagine it with an ugly guy. So basically, kidnapping. Edit. I don't like the movie and I don't think it's cool. But I have some friends that like that movie and don't think it's creepy or something, so that's why I wrote it. My girlfriend and her best friend adore this movie. I felt crazy because I was violently uncomfortable the whole time and kept whispering, but this is just rape, to their protests of how it wasn't, and it was all actually well intentioned. I can't wrap my head around it. The movie was basically just softcore porn with a creepy kidnapping rape plot, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going for the creepiest answer award. Talking to children. Edit for boring bonus anecdote. I had an empty seat next to me on a long distance bus. A small girl was put to the bus all by herself by her granny because the bus was fully booked or something, and only the girl got a ticket. Granny asked around who could look after her for the trip. I would have liked to, as I've worked as a kindergarten teacher, but being a dude, waited in silence until a young woman in front of me volunteered. The girl's parents were thankfully waiting for her at the destination city, so it's not like she was abandoned. But it was a weird situation. The end. As a guy, you just don't volunteer in those situations just to be safe. Facial hair. A mustache can work if you look like Tom Selleck or Sam Elliott. Most of the time you look like a sex case that is probably on a register somewhere. Beards can also look great on a good looking guy, but on a not so conventionally handsome man, they can make one look like a deranged street person. Sometimes beards can turn an unattractive man into an attractive man. For example, men with weak chins. James Harden link. Being the male protagonist in a romance movie. Yup. If the main guy in 50 Shades wasn't a good looking guy, it would have been a horror film. Or Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. If that was John Goodman who woke her up from cryogenic sleep because he didn't want to be alone, that movie becomes a thriller. Literally anything that can be construed negatively or positively can be decided by a person's attractiveness. Standoffish and unfriendly, strong and uncaring, decisive, or a shawlish and arrogant, quiet and antisocial, somber and stoically deep, or weird and uncomfortable, talkative and loud, magnetic and charming, or childish and obnoxious. I could go on, but the point is there. Of course society isn't as black and white, and there are other attractive elements that decide this difference in perception between physical appearance. That is assuming to a degree personative charisma or an attractive personality as well. But that doesn't change the fact of natural over-exaggeration in negative and positive perceptions of attractive and less attractive people. The weird thing is that so many people think genetics determine 100% their attractiveness, which leads to a slippery slope where they don't put in any effort to improve their attractiveness levels and simply blame it all on unlucky genetics. Or I'm just ugly. Your hygiene, grooming, clothes and body language make up the vast majority of people's initial reactions on whether they find you attractive or not. People tend to look in the mirror and compare themselves to celebrities with teams of people responsible for making them look good, both with grooming as well as clothing. I'm going to put my money down that even the most conventionally ugly person can vastly improve their attractiveness level with just those 4 categories: hygiene, grooming, clothing and body language. You don't need expensive lotions, 400 haircuts, Armani suits or the swagger of a Hollywood heartthrob, but simply giving small bits of attention to detail on the basic aspects of looks, which excludes genetics, has a major impact that a lot of people disregard. Oh, I'm ugly and it will always stay that way is the easy way out. If you can accept that a part of your shitty attractiveness comes down to those 4 factors, you can start taking steps in improving yourself. Hygiene, grooming, clothing and body language. Start here and brand new worlds will open up. Edit if you want some examples. Just look at this Google search link and tell me you don't see the transformation that simple changes can make. Honest to God, I feel like body language is the biggest underrated tipping point here. I can't even imagine how you would unlearn creepy body language. Stalking. Movies romance the idea for handsome types and vilify it when someone isn't handsome. Realistically, it's always bad. Similar to what I said. I specifically said that you show everyone, including myself, is obsessed with girlfriends, and I will be talking about the show when 2 of them say I would be all about that relationship. I responded with, you know he kills people, right? LOL. I don't care. He's hot and would treat me like a queen. I laughed, telling myself they were being facetious, but I'm pretty dang sure they weren't joking at all. Honestly, pretty much anything. Name any bold fashion choice, accessory, hairstyle, facial expression, or human interaction, and it becomes creepy on an ugly dude or any ugly person. Being quiet and antisocial. I have a son that is incredibly good looking. Because he's handsome, they find him mysterious, brooding, haunting, sexy. He's actually just really shy and a bit anxious and doesn't like social situations. If he were ugly, he'd be a creep as duck. Being shy. I've been called a creep too many times to count because I get social anxiety. Can confirm. I met my best friend in a bar and he sat by himself and kept to himself, but would write screenplays. When people asked him about it, he was embarrassed and shy about it, so he didn't tell them. All the bartenders called him creepy, and he's writing books on how he was going to kill them all. I had to stand up for him multiple times when they called him creepy or weird. No a-hole here, dude. He just liked being left alone. Being into video games and anime. Ugly gamer loser. Boring. Hot gamer quirky. Fun. For men, being in a relationship with an attractive woman. If you're handsome, people think you guys make a cute couple. If you're ugly or even slightly below average, people either think the girl is a gold digger or just get plain jealous because they think they are a better option for her than you are. Repeatedly sliding into my DMs. Well, ain't that true for everyone? Flirting. Flirting can be extremely creepy coming from attractive guys too. They are sometimes the worst offenders cause they're so overconfident. I've seen plenty of women go for creepy pickup lines, as long as the guy is attractive enough. One of my friends recorded one under the table yesterday. It was an incredibly dumb line, but she ended the post with "It's okay though. He's really hot." Made my day. I'm a maybe above average guy and even I can see there's a huge double standard about what's more welcome the more attractive you are. Take the movie 50 Shades of Grey. Replace Mr. Grey with an ugly, mid-class man instead of a rich and handsome one and people will realize how creepy his behavior is. It's pretty ironic how the fans of this movie were blinded by the character's wealth, fortune, cool cars and his appearance, just as much as Anna in the film got blinded by it. Again. Replace Jamie Dornan by Danny DeVito and people would want the film banned for promoting objectification of women and shit when that's already what Grey is doing. He wanna make Anna an object to spank her really hard, and he manipulate her in order to do that. Apparently, even looking at a girl's direction, I've been labeled as a creep by my own ducking friend because I spaced out. Obligatory "that person is probably not your friend" comment. Asking someone on a date. I once worked at a local pool as a lifeguard. While I was working there, a co-worker female laid a complaint against a customer for asking for her number. The customer even got a warning from one of the pool's managers. Fast forward to less than 1 month later, and the same co-worker is going on a date with a customer who asked for her number while she was at work. Apparently it was okay for him to ask because he was cute, but the other customer was ugly as, so he should have known to stay away anyway. I hated working at that place. The people were weird. Dressing in an emo style. Long hair for men. Short hair for women. If you are overweight it's worse. I've got long hair and a bit of a weight problem and no fashion sense and pasty skin and an unremarkable face and seem to do okay. About the only thing I've got in my favor is height. Only time I've scared an old lady was recently. During a public coughing fit usually, they approach me and ask something like, "Do you like the heavy metal?" Dear, I'm also about as oblivious as they come and still notice the odd girl flirting with me, usually Asian girls. For some reason, I get lots of compliments about the hair, too, even if it is graying. Compared to some of the guys I know, I don't often encounter public hostility or contempt. Even being friendly. I used to work in a very predominantly female field. I had to orientate new hires. One of the most common things I ask at the end: if there's anything you have a question about or that or need answered for, you let me know. We'll figure it out. The amount of times I heard "I'm married" or "a guy have a boyfriend" was ridiculous. I got married, and my wife said "you shouldn't be so nice, women get the wrong idea, you are nice and don't want anything." And many women don't understand that. It's very infuriating. Noticing details. Damn, you're right. If you are attractive it's observant. If you are ugly it's creepy and disgusting. And why? Do you know my credit card info? My friend who is a full-time bikini model burps a lot. Like, she has to take medicine to do it less than she normally would. Dudes think it is so adorable. I burp once and it's like I just took a shit on the floor. Woo. Flirting. Or even being nice. If you're attractive it's okay 99% of the time. If you're unattractive it's creepy and disgusting. Wearing jeans and a snug-fitting t-shirt. In my 20s I could wear this out on the weekend and talk to girls all night. Now in my 40s I would clearly be delusional if I thought a stranger thought I looked good dressed like that. I was shore fishing once and caught a huge bass. I asked a lady and her teenage daughter that were walking by if they could take my picture, and after a few moments of hesitation the mom said, "I'm sorry, we're not comfortable with this." From that day forward I realized that I had gone from young attractive guy to creepy middle-aged dude. I'm thankful to that woman however, because there is nothing worse than someone who makes people uncomfortable, but is clueless that they put people in that situation. Inviting a random person walking in the street to your place. So it was 6 AM. And I was walking home wasted from Subway to my place and some handsome dude tried to chit chat and eventually invited me over. I laughed about how random it was. Afterwards, I know I would define this creepy if the dude was an ugly one. Oopsie. An eye patch honestly. Handsome men with an eye patch command respect for having survived combat, whereas ugly men with an eye patch signal you done walked in the wrong hood. Trying to form a relationship with a new person that exceeds saying hi every once in a while. Talking to women. Taking your shirt off in public spaces.